I want to get your raw reaction of this. So a couple days ago, we went to a friend's birthday barbecue thing, right? It was on Sunday. And I'm chilling, I'm not really drinking because I have to work the next day. So I'm chilling. And then I get past the blunt. I take a hit. So I'm like feeling good, right? I'm feeling decent. And I'm just sitting there by myself. I'm not really talking to anyone, but I'm not being weird. No one's being weird, so it's fine. And my boyfriend is playing bags in somewhere else. And so I'm there by myself. And this guy comes up to me. He's like, hey, are you spiritual?
What the fuck?
And I was like, oh, like, I didn't really know what he meant by that, but I was like, no, like, not really. And he was like, oh, okay. And then he cause he was standing by me, and then he just went back to the spot that he was standing at. And I was like, whatever. And then he comes back and he's like, hey, like, I wanted to talk to you about something. And I was like, what's up? And he was like, so have you seen like the Percy Jackson like movies or series? And I was like, no, like not really. And he was like, oh, okay, well, like something about Perseus and Andromeda, and like he's like, basically I'm a god. And I was blown away, and I was like, what? But he was dead ass. He was like, yeah, so you know how like everyone talks about the second coming and the rapture and whatnot. And I was like, oh yeah. He's like, so basically I'm the second coming. I'm God, and I'm back, and I'm here to like spread my message. And I was like, wait, what? And I'm like a little high, like I'm like, oh, wait. And he then tells me, yeah, like last year I was 30, and then I woke up next year, like I'm 35 today. Like now I'm 35. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, oh, have you seen 13 going on 30? And I was like, oh yeah. And he was like, well, that happened to me. Like I'm 35 now. Like I skipped time because I'm a god. And like this guy wasn't drunk. He wasn't like smoking, I don't think. Or at least not yet. And he seemed like totally fine. Like we seemed like we were on the same level. Yeah. And he was telling me this, and I was like, I don't even know what to say. And he would ask me like, what do you think about that? And I'd be like, I don't think anything, because I'm so like blown away by all this. And he was telling me that he could, sorry.
He's listening. He's not trying to have you talk right now.
Yeah, he told me that he was a shapeshifter, and he's like, yeah, have you heard of those like reptilian people? And I was like, oh yeah, like I have heard of them. And
George Bush. George Bush.
And he's like, I'm one of them. Like I'm shapeshifting right now. Like this is like a different body of mine. And I started getting a little scared. I was like, whoa, wait, what is going on? And he was just telling me all this crazy shit. And yeah, he was like, you for real, like, don't know about like Perseus and like Andromeda? And I was like, no. I was like, I've heard of it, but I don't know him that well, like the stories. And he's like, oh, well, like look him up. And I was like, oh yeah, bet, bro. And then he like stood there
until you looked them up.
And yeah, like he was like, yeah, pull up Google and like look up the story. And I was like, oh yeah. And then he was just there, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And then he eventually walked away, and then I put it away at like my phone. And then he came back and was like, oh, so you looked it up. What do you think? I was like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to be reading for. Fuck? And yeah, that was basically it. And the whole interaction was so wild to me that like later on in the day, another one of our friends who was there, he told me that like that guy was also talking to him, and I thought he knew him because like they were talking for a minute, and he's like, nah, bro, like I have no idea who that is. And then he said that the guy told him that the Avengers movies are real. Like the whole series, like it's a real thing. The government is just like keeping it from us. I was like, what? But this guy seems so dead ass.
Who was he there with? Like, did you know the people he was there
I
with?
think I eventually found out that he was like the host's like family member. But he said that like he hasn't seen him in a really long time. Which made it like scarier because I'm like, fuck, what if he was 30 and now he's 35 in a year? You know?
I'm literally fucking speechless. Like, I don't know
exactly
how I would react if someone came up to me and was like, I am God.
Yeah.
Like,
I was like, wait.
and you're smoking? Like,
Yeah,
oh
like-
my God.
What's going on? It was wild. It was crazy.
What did your boyfriend say?
He was so blown away. He was like, what? He's like, what the fuck? Are you sure he wasn't like smoking or drinking? The guy seemed fine.
Yeah.
He seemed like in his senses. So I was like, what the fuck?
Why do you think he chose you two? Just because you're like by yourself?
I don't know, maybe. Because like the other guy that he also talked to was by himself at one point. And that's when he got him. And I think he was trying to talk to other people because after that, I kind of like watched what he did. And he didn't do that to other people, I don't think. He just went and like just talked
Oh, that's
to
so
others.
weird. What if like to you he was saying all they're like, oh, I'm a god, but then like the next person it was literally like a regular conversation talking about whatever like work.
Exactly.
Uh
What if he wasn't even real? And we just imagined him, and like me and the other guy were the only ones that had these interactions with him, and everyone else is like, bro, like, what are you talking about?
It's because you and the other guy were the only ones who hit the blunt. So whatever was in that weed like made him like with that person.
No. I don't think he hit the same blunt I did.
Hey, young America, we need to talk about something called grass. Not that grass. I'm talking about marijuana. It's stimulating, mind expanding.
But it was crazy.
That is crazy. That's scary. Holy shit. How was the rest of your weekend?
It was pretty fun. It was good.
Went by pretty quickly. I had did my Sunday, my guess, AAA, worst fucking customer service ever.
Oh shit.
Let me tell you about this. So Sunday, I was gonna go to Stars Rock, like I told you in the morning, but I ended up just going to the lake just to bike. But I had gotten there maybe like at I don't even know, like 1, right? So if I was there at 1, I biked for a couple hours and I went to the beach for like an hour by the shed, and I just was chilling. And on the way back, I was gonna go to my car and go eat. So I get to my car, I put my bike in the trunk, and I closed the trunk, and I forgot that my keys were in the trunk.
Oh
So I
no.
locked my car. I was locked outside of my car, and I didn't press like the unlock the doors. I just unlocked the trunk, right? So the rest of the car just stayed locked, which is fucking stupid because like there's no reason why the car should be locked if the keys are still in the car. With like today's cars, I guess like they just have that technology that it just doesn't lock. But that didn't happen to me. It locked. And so I was sitting outside my car, like, okay, what am I gonna do? Like, I don't want to bother my parents by getting the spare key and like having them drive all the way down here, especially at like 4 o'clock with all that traffic
I
on
guess.
55 and shit.
But you don't think so? Like, I feel like you never get locked out of your car. So it'd be like an event, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, but still, I just didn't want to bother them, you know, because it was still pretty early. I was like, okay, what can I do? So I was on YouTube, like looking up like how to unlock cars without keys, and I was just like doing the most.
You could have called like a cop. I think cops can do it.
I heard that too, but again, I didn't want to, like, I didn't feel like talking to them. So, especially there at that park, they're just like assholes there, trying to get everybody to leave and shit.
They'll be like, how do I know this car is yours? And then you end up in fucking jail.
Like, bro, I'm just trying to unlock my car.
Right.
I'm just trying to go home. And so I remember that with the car's like warranty, I have roadside assistance.
Yeah.
So I called Honda and I was like, "Hey, this is the situation. Like, can you like help me out?" And they're like, "Yeah, like that's no issue. It's completely covered too. We're gonna go ahead and send out like a AAA person or whatever, right?" I'm like, "Cool. It's fucking amazing. Awesome." So the dude's
3
name is
hours
Fernando.
later.
Well, it's actually like 30 minutes later. The dude's his name's Fernando, and he calls me and he's like, "Okay, I'm on my way. Like, where are you specifically? Like, whatever, all that shit, right?" And I was like, "Okay, cool, I'm over here." And I was just chilling in my car at that point. I was like, "Cool, like this is gonna be taken care of. I'm gonna get to my car. Awesome." 30 minutes later, dude he's just like not there. He's like late, and it's like 10 minutes late. And they give you like a little like GPS like map thing to show where the truck's at, the AAA service. So like this dude's just passing me back and forth on Lakeshore. And I was telling him, I was like, "Look, the exit is blocked. Like they block it after a certain time, but you can get off at Irving Park and you can get in through that exit. You just have to talk to the cop because they're not letting them in anymore. They're just letting people out." But I walked over there, and if you talk to the cop, he'll let you in, right? And so I was like, all you have to do is to talk to the cop. You're here to do a job. He's not gonna like not let you in.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Nah, he said I have warrants. I can't get in.
that probably was like what was the case, but say like 20 minutes later I get a call from AAA, and it's not Fernando, it's this lady, and she's like, "Yeah, our driver's not gonna be able to get to you. He just like can't get in or whatever." And I'm like, "Well, did he talk to the cop? All you have to do is talk to the cop. I'm literally seeing people being let in." And she's like, "No, he talked to them. They're not letting him in." I was like, "This motherfucker lied, bro. Like he's straight lying. He just doesn't want to like talk to the cop for whatever reason, right?" And because I could see his fucking location, like he did not stop at that intersection, so that's how I know he didn't talk to the cop. And I'm like, I can't even be mad at the lady. She's just like the messenger, you know? I'm like, all right,
Right.
whatever, cool. So I call Honda again. I'm like, "Hey, like this is a situation," and they're like, "Okay, don't worry about it. We're gonna go ahead and send you out another AAA person." I'm like, "Okay, cool, awesome." And she's like, "You're gonna get a call or like a text in 10 minutes," and 45 minutes later, I get nothing. Like nothing, bro. And it's already like 6 o'clock. I'm just pressed. I'm like, okay, I don't think they're gonna fucking call me, because it's probably the same AAA center, and they already like they knew it was me, so they weren't trying to send out another driver till like later at night, and then like an hour passed, and I was like, okay, I have no choice now. So I called my mom, and I'm like, "Hey, I need you to do me a favor. There's a spare key here, and I need you to bring it because I locked myself out of my car." And she brought it, and like that was from that point on, I was starving. I was just tired. I've been in the sun all
You're
day.
so mad because
Dude.
you're so hungry too.
I don't even know if like mad's the right word. I was just like,
Depleted.
yeah. I just wanted to go home at that point. And so I got in the car, and then 5 minutes from home, tell me why AAA calls me, and they're like,
Where are
"Hey."
you? Fuck you.
Yeah, they were like, "Are you still there?" I was like, "No, I don't need the service anymore." And they're like, "Okay, cool." And then they hung up, like without no questions, nothing. He just hung up right afterwards. And
Bitches.
bro, my asshole could have been stranded. Like I could have been like fucking eaten by wolves. Not like that, but like just fucking terrible customer service. They purposely did not pick up the call. Like they chose not to do the service.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because whatever fucking reason, but yeah, that was my
That's
so
Sunday. Annoying.
Dude, so annoying.
Like I had one interaction with AAA, and it was when we went down to Florida. It was me and my boyfriend a couple spring breaks ago, and something in the car that we were taking it was like a band and it snapped. So I called AAA.
Like under the hood?
Yeah. I called AAA. They said, "Okay, bet we're gonna send someone." No one came for about 3 hours, and they kept saying like, "Oh, it's gonna be like 30 to 45 minutes." The only thing is that it was a Sunday, and it was like past like 6, so like everything's fucking closed, and I had to like call the hotel or like the resort and be like, hey, like I'm not going to make it to the check-in time because I'm stranded and I'm too far away for them to send someone from the resort to like go get us and stuff. And we were just too far from like a car sharing service. It was like right as we crossed the border into Florida. So we're in the middle of fucking nowhere, and it was fucking scary because
That's terrifying.
because the gas station we were at, like, bro, like everyone was white, like the Confederate flags, like shit was a little scary. And I'm like, Jacob, no, you go talk to the people, right? Like I'll just stay here. And 3 hours later, after calling them about twice, I told them like, is someone still coming? Like, what's going on? Like, are you sending the tow truck?
They said 30 to 45 minutes, and it's 3 hours later.
Yeah, it's like 3 hours later. And then there was a confusion. And then they're like, oh, don't worry, we're going to send someone else. And like, it was a whole thing. And then this tow truck eventually got there, talked to the guy. The guy looked under the hood and was like, oh, it's this. Luckily, that guy's tow truck company, I think it was like a family business. They had like the tow truck company, and then they had like a repair shop all in the same thing. And they were like, hey, like, it's almost like they fucking knew this shit was gonna happen. But they had an how do I say it? Un acuerdo. They had like what's the word? Basically, they had an agreement with a hotel across the street that whoever like got towed got a discount off the little hotel across the street.
From them, like
From
where
them.
the shop is at? Okay.
Yeah, so the guy took us into his tow truck, towed the car, we get to the spot, but while we're getting to the spot, he's taking all of these back roads. And I told you, I sat in the back seat, Jacob sat in the passenger seat, and he told me, because I was so sketched out, he told me after that he like sent his location to his mom, like a bunch of other people. I was texting my sisters, and I was like, bro, like this is super sketchy. And I was like telling Jacob, like, if this is how we die, like this is how we fucking die, because this is so scary. And
I can't imagine how tense it is in that car.
it was so tense. Like,
the driving part, like, man, what the fuck is their problem? Like, I'm over here trying to help them and shit.
no, and he's like making conversation with like my boyfriend and like friendly conversation. Like, yeah, bro, like it's been really busy, like this and that. And I'm over here like,
Because he probably sees you like in the rear view, just like dead staring him.
no, oh my God. Maybe he was trying to make it better, but no, it was a terrifying experience because he was taking us through like neighborhoods. Like he was taking us through all these like smaller roads. I'm like, bro, I don't even know where we are. And it was just a spooky time. But we get to the spot, and then the place is like across the street, but it's like a little further. So they take us, and it's like really late at night at this point. And then they like drove us to the little like hotel. And then we stayed there for like the night. And then they said they were going to be done with it like sometime in the morning, like 11 or whatever. So we're like, okay, perfect. And yeah.
That's scary. Have you ever seen Jeepers Creepers?
No.
Oh my god. Oh, you should
the same
watch it though.
premise?
Well, I think when you guys said that, it almost seems like it was done on purpose. Like that kind of gives me like, the same feeling. Not that they were taken anywhere, but like the way that the cars and like the buses were all I guess like disabled? Like
Malfunctioning?
yeah, there we go. Like he caused them to malfunction, and like there's like a reason behind it, but you should watch Jeepers Creepers. It is such a good movie.
Oh, really?
I think it's a good movie.
I've seen it once, but I fell asleep very early on. Very, very early on.
Who's the main actor? What's his name? I don't even know his name. The dude's in like a bunch of like 2000s movies, like Waiting.
Adam
Have you ever seen
Sandler.
Waiting? No, not Adam Sandler. I don't know his name, but
No, I don't know.
he's the main actor. I mean, no one. He's from Waiting too. I don't know if anyone. Yeah.
No, I haven't seen that.
Anyways, you should watch Jeepers Creepers. It's
I will.
really creepy, and the thing with Jeepers Creepers is that this creature comes back every 27 years, and last year, 2020, was the 27th year that he was supposed to come back, and I
Did
was
people make it a
traveling.
thing?
I think so. It was like Twitter. It was like on Twitter and shit. But like I was traveling between like cities and towns, and so like I was on those like long ass cornfields like that day, the 27th day, and I was like, or the 27th year.
This is it. This
And I
is
was
it.
like, shit. Like where's the at? But it's a good movie. The 1 and 2 are good. After that, you don't have to really watch it. But
Okay, so
Watch
it's
one.
a franchise. Mm-hmm. Nice.
I know you'd enjoy the first one though.
So this is going to be a little extension on one of the older episodes that we had, which was called The Plan. So you know how there's a bunch of like MLMs, like all that stuff, and there's always new ones popping up, and they're getting very creative with the way they market themselves to make it seem like it's not a pyramid scheme. And that just wouldn't have happened back then, but like now with like social media especially, the way they're branding it and how they're telling their employees to brand themselves, it's just getting so like crazy. And I found this old article from, I think it was 2016. John Oliver, I think it was John Oliver, had a segment where he warned people, specifically Latinos, on Herbalife, because Herbalife very strategically targets Hispanic people, Latino people. And he had Jaime Camil. Do you know who that is? Jaime Camil, he's like this actor, Latino actor, famous for La Fe Más Bella. I don't know if you've seen that novela. He was also in Jane the Virgin. He's a very like comedy style
The dad of
actor.
Jane?
I don't know. I just know he's in the show. I don't know like
Older
his
dude?
role.
Older dude.
He's not like old. He's just a señor. Yeah, and he's just a funny guy. But I guess he brought on Jaime Camil to do like the Spanish version of like this warning of like, hey guys, like, you know, MLMs, like these things, they're a scam, you know, and you should steer clear because they prey on your dreams. They prey on your vision of like this so-called American dream, and they sell it to you so you can go and repeat the cycle. And just seeing like the article, like reading it and like seeing that he brought on this whole other actor, because Herbalife, how do I say, ropes you in. They have like a huge budget, so they rope you in with these like actors and like government officials that like merch them really hard because they have the money for it. And they're just like, oh, okay, like, and money buys anything. So like you can basically pay someone off to say like, yeah, hey, this works, this is a good product, this is whatever, and people will eat that shit up, you know? And I just think it's crazy.
It's scary. That's what that is. Like,
Yeah.
it's basically damn near, I mean, it's obviously a scam, but that shit's scary.
And like very newer ones that I feel I've seen is like Monat, for example. Like,
What is that?
Monat? Excuse me. Monat is like it's almost like a wellness brand. And they sell, I believe they sell like hair supplements and like hair care, I think skincare, just like stuff like that.
Is this that?
Yeah. And it's like, it's very preying on women. It's very much preying on like, I've seen a lot of Hispanic women try to like sell this. Also, Get Works, I think it's called. It Works? No, I think it's called It Works.
Works.
I remember years ago, like when I worked at the mall back in Rockford, my manager was like selling It Works. She was selling like these teas, these like detox teas that supposedly work and help you lose weight and like all this stuff. And she would be like merching it really hard. She'd be like, hey, this does this and that. I'm like, wait, do you even believe this? Like, do you believe this? And they're like, oh, she's like, I try it all the time. Like, I drink it all the time, this and that. And I'm just like, I don't think so. But I think that stopped very quickly after that. I think it's once you realize you're not really making any money off any of this.
No matter even if you sell. Because doesn't a portion of your sales go towards like the person who got you into it, right?
Yeah, but like I think it outweighs the sacrifice you make, because like for a lot of these places you have to pay like a first time fee or like a subscription fee and like all this stuff to even like start. And for them, it's like you're making an investment. You know, you spend this money and it's going to return to you like tenfold, and it never does. It never does. The only way it can really like multiply for you is if you're actually very good at roping other people in and training them into having them rope more people in. You know what I mean? I saw, because you can see these like on YouTube or whatever. There's like a bunch of videos of like, I know we talked about it last time. These people are called uplines. And these uplines are like your superior. This is the person that recruited you. And they basically train, quote unquote, train these like individuals to feel confident and to be able to sell and like all this stuff. And it's just not like, there's zero talk about the products themselves.
Yeah.
I never ever in these videos or these like conferences do I ever hear people speak about the product themselves. Just like they're all about the grind, like, you know, fuck these broke people like me and you, we're gonna be rich, like shit like that. And it's like, that's the only thing they're selling, like the talk. They're selling the dream. They're selling all this other shit, not the product themselves.
Because at the end of the day, the product doesn't matter.
Exactly.
It's them. If you were to start a pyramid scheme, what would your product be?
It'd have to be something so stupid. Fuck, dude. What would yours be?
I don't know. I'd have to think about it.
Mine would be like custom cutout keys.
I think there's like machines that do that already.
No, but like you're selling these keys. Like these are the best keys. You know, like you pick from a catalog. Like, dude, like what custom key do you want? You know, that would be my thing. I'd have to be so fucking
Why
stupid.
custom keys? That was like very quick. Like, is this something you want to pursue?
No, I think it's just the most random and the most dumb. But, because, I mean, shit, you almost fell for that fucking knife one. They were selling knives.
Oh, boy. It's so embarrassing. You know what else I almost fell for?
Selling insurance.
No.
Oh.
I think that's a real job. I'm sure you get paid. But
I'll say it after.
Tony Lopez on YouTube. You don't know who that is?
I don't
Really?
I don't think
shit.
so.
He's like, if you saw him, I think you would know exactly
Okay.
who I'm talking about. But so Tony Lopez, he's like basically is like this business guru, and like what the fuck was he selling? I don't know what he was actually selling, to be honest. But it was like, I guess it was his course on like how to make money, right? And like, bro, his ad just kept on popping up, and I was very impressionable at the time. And I mean, I still kind of am, but like not as much as then. And bro, it just all his ads just kept on popping up, and I went on his website and I see like all these testimonials, and I'm like, oh my god, like this seems very legit. I was like, fuck. And but like it was expensive, like stupid expensive, like $1,000 or some shit. And I was like, bro, I'm like 15, like I don't have $1,000.
Right.
But yeah, I almost fell for that shit. That shit's embarrassing too.
Oh my God. So I remember this one time, I showed up and it was a sales job. It was like a sales job, and it was almost like it was supposed to be an interview. So I answered to an ad. And don't fucking laugh at this because you almost fell for some knives shit, okay? So I get to this interview and I give them my letter, like I give them my resume, like all that stuff. And everything seems legit. I'm at an office, like it's just a sales job. So I get there and they tell me, okay, we're going to bring you in like really quick. And other people are also coming in and like doing the same thing. And I was like, oh, okay, it's going to be like a group interview, like whatever, it's fine. I've had those before. And then everyone seems very young, like younger than me. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So then we go into a room and we're in a meeting room. This guy comes in. He's like, "Hey, we're gonna be with you shortly. Like the manager's here, whatever." And we're like, "Okay, sure." And then this guy comes in. He starts writing on this whiteboard, and he's like, "Oh, you guys want to know how to make like this X amount of money, like in literally like 3 weeks?" And everyone was like, "Oh, like yeah, sure." And he starts talking about the grind. He's like, this is sales. Like you have to go like door to door. He's like, you have to do the dirty work and like start at the bottom, like this and that. Essentially what they were doing was lowering, I think it was like a Comcast bill, something like that. They were like, it was either like your gas bill or
is it the people in the mall?
Yeah,
Okay.
like your gas bill or like your Comcast, some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they were basically saying that you have to go door to door or like to certain events, and if you sign people up to this thing, you make X amount in commission, like this and that. And as soon as he brought out the bill itself, like, oh, like something about we lower the bill, I was like, I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. This was like, I shit you not, had to have been like 3 to 5 minutes in, where I was like, you've got to be fucking shitting me. And at this point, I was so fucking pressed that I was like, I'm just gonna walk out of this room because this is a joke. And I was like, actually, because this is one piece of advice that my dad has always said, is that just hear what people have to say. Just listen to them. Let's see. And I remember I was like, I'm just going to do what my dad said. Just listen to what he have to say, because I want to know how far he can like take this and how well he can actually
like now that you know
really,
that
yeah.
it's like
now like
okay,
I want to see how well he ropes these kids in. And I'm chilling there. I am not believing anything he's saying. I'm like, oh, how are you saying this out loud to these people? Like, there's no way they can actually believe this. There's no way. Like, do you believe this? He seemed so for sure. So for sure. And no, like, yeah, I mean, they were asking questions. Like, the people were asking questions to the guy. And the guy was like, you can get started today. Right after this interview, like, basically, you guys made it to the interview. You're in. I was like, what, bitch? No, I'm not in. So what do you mean? And he was telling these people like, oh, you guys are in after like this interview. We can like get you started. And then he was saying, oh, you see those offices over there? That could be your office. Like I finally got an office.
He was really like,
yeah,
going
dude.
in.
He was like, he's very charismatic and like just really like, yeah, you can do it. And I'm like, damn, I could kind of see it, like how he would rope these people in.
He was trying to get you back in a little bit.
No. I was very impressed though. I was very impressed. And then eventually I left, but I was actually extremely mad because it was just a waste of time. And that's the one thing I hate is a waste of time.
I was like one of those. I was one of those kids in there with you. I was the one like, yeah, I could fucking do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a Tesla by next year.
Well, because I think I told you about that one time when I was like selling newspaper subscriptions and shit. Did I tell you about that? I told you about that.
Oh, damn, you're a real life Shia LaBeouf, huh?
Bro, I was like, the thing is, I was like 16
You were a castaway.
too, bro. I was like, that's supposed to be my first job. That's why I was excited. I was like, okay, we can make some money, like, cool. Because they're just handing out flyers and shit, you know? But man, I was excited. But I got roped into shit like that. Is what I'm saying.
Oh my gosh, I want to hear other people's stories of them genuinely getting roped into a pyramid scheme. Like,
What if you're in a pyramid scheme right now and you're hearing this and they're like, oh, these fuckers don't know what they're talking about.
right? And they're like, oh, fuck you, like Monat shampoo is actually like really fucking good.
Yeah, only 20% of my hair has fallen out since I started using it.
I want to know like what roped them in and what it is that they sell. Like the product itself, you know?
Mm-hmm. And did you make money off of it?
Yeah.
Like if you genuinely made money off of it, like I want to know that too. Mm-hmm. Do you ever have that conversation with your mom? That like you try to convince her that she's like in a pyramid schemes?
I don't even know how many. I can't even count the many times that I've tried to reason and think through all of this stuff with my mom. But I think she finally kind of got it on Mother's Day. Because that day we talked about it. And this is like one thing that my sister, and I don't know why or what the reasoning behind it, but like they're not vocal with my mom. Like anything she says is like, okay, yeah, I'm just going to agree with you. Like I'm not going to push back. I'm not going to do any of that. And I'm the only one that's like challenging. Like they say one thing, but why? Why do you think this? Or like, what made you think this? So my mom was saying about some pyramid scheme, and my sister they were just like, oh, okay, yeah. And I'm like, Mom, like, it's like fake, this is like a scam. And she's like, how? And I'm like, well, we talk about this all the time. I'm like, it doesn't work. Like you're wasting more money than you're actually making.
Also, she's losing money.
You always lose money because the way they tell you to recommend these products to sell them, you have to try them out yourself. Like, oh, get this starter kit of samples that you can like then try and then sell to people. That still costs money for you to get this sample pack.
That's they make you buy the product too.
Yes.
That's crazy.
They give you a discount on products when you buy them. And then have you sell them for like just an unreasonable price to other people. And then I think another way they try to get you is when you tell your potential customers like, hey, you can buy these full price products, or you can just join me and then you can have these at a discount. So you don't have to buy them at the price that I'm trying to sell them to you for. And then they just rope someone else in. It's way too much. It's very well thought out, I will say.
But you were telling your mom.
I was telling my mom, like, all this stuff, like, you're losing money. And she's like, oh, well, the products are really good. The vitamins are really good. And, their skincare really works well, like, for me and stuff. And, like, they very well could be, working, because remember in the last episode of the plan that I told you that these products, they're not like bunk products. They're good. They're decent. And sometimes they do work. They just are not the thing that they're selling. Like they wouldn't really care for these products, but they do make them functional, obviously. But But I told my mom, like, you could just get some at Walmart, you know? And she's like, well, no, because like Walmart's Walmart, and apparently everything from Walmart is like fucking cheap and like useless when that's not the case. And she's like, no, these are good. And I'm like, I don't think so. She's like, oh, you don't really think so? And then I started coming to her with the facts, like this, and this. I'm like, Mom, like, come on, I'm trying to help you. And I think she started to get it a little. I think she did.
Because she saw that, like, you probably look concerned for her. Like, no, like,
Yes.
you're wasting
And
money.
the thing that I'm about is like, my sisters know this too. Like, why are you not also telling her, Mom, this is a bad idea?
I don't know. Maybe your mom just, like, enjoys doing it. Maybe she feels like she's part of something, you know?
Stop. That's another way they get you.
Fuck, I'm telling you, I would get roped into this shit.
Why do you think, like, going back to Herbalife and people who like try to rope in other people for like Herbalife or any other like nutrition supplement kind of business, whatever, is that in the Hispanic community, the Latino community, it's all about like vitamins and how do I say it? Like these very natural remedies to get better and like all this stuff, and kind of having an alternative to medicine if you just prevent it with all these like vitamins and supplements and stuff like that, that's good. You know, you're still being healthy and preventing certain diseases without having to like go to the hospital. But you can be proactive, so to speak. And that's how they get a lot of people. And I think that's how they really got my mom, because she's always been about vitamins and like eating healthy and, you know, taking care of your body. And that's how I feel like a big chunk of their like audience is. And what was I gonna say? You going back to like you saying that you believe that they want to be a part of something, feel like a part of something, because also a lot of first gen, how do I say it? Like parents who like immigrated here, they don't really have, I don't want to say the best jobs, because some jobs are good, you know? Like they're very good, they're very well paying, but most of the time undocumented people can't get like very good, how do I say it? Like they don't have an education, or if they do, their education doesn't transfer. So they don't have like the highest ranking jobs. So there's a lot of field workers, there's a lot of factory workers, which is what my parents are. So there's less opportunities for them. And after years and years and years of working at these places, because I think it's very common for like first-time immigrants coming here to stay at a job for a very long time, just because it's stable and it's a secure job. And sometimes like those people are like, oh, I just want to feel a part of something because I'm always just here. All I really know is the factory, the field, that stuff. So they do want to feel like they're a part of something, a group. They want to, like I said, they rope you in this whole American dream. And they're like, oh, I can achieve this faster through this side business. It's something I can do on my free time and with other people in the factory, the field. So it's very much like
predatory.
They just, yeah, it's very predatory.
That's so sad to think about, because that's how my parents like are. It's like my mom got roped into the whole Mary Kay. And like she, like every once in a while, like it'll be like cycles. Like she'll really get back into it, but then she'll like stop it all over again. And like it's just a cycle.
Yeah.
Because like you said, like she hasn't had the best opportunities like career wise. But she can make that extra money on the side.
Right.
And like possibly like change her life, you know? But fuck. You know what else? Do you remember in school? I don't know if you guys ever did this, but in school we would have a catalog of stuff, and like the kid who sold the most stuff gets like prizes based on what they sold.
Fundraisers?
Yeah, but it was very much like our moms were out there like doing it for their friends and shit. Almost like a pyramid scheme. So what do they teach you this shit when you're in school, and it just like stays in your mind? It's like ingrained, like, okay, like this is the best way to like raise funds because it's a fundraiser, you know?
But like these wouldn't be fundraisers, or they would be.
I honestly have no idea where that money went. Like, I don't know if like this company just like came and made an agreement with CPS or if the money was used for school, but like that money, as far as I know, was we were never told what was gonna happen with that money.
They just said like, oh, it's fundraiser time.
Yeah, and like the kid who sold, this happened every single year too. So like the kid who sold the most, he was put in like this money machine where like there's like a blow up bubble, and it's like a bunch of
I remember
singles.
this like twice. Yeah, they're like, oh, this is the day that we announce all the prizes for the kids, and we would go to the gym. They would sit us there, and it was almost like a little like award show. Like, oh, you get to do the money machine. Like, what the
Do you remember this
fuck?
now? And they had like a whole catalog of like
I'm
items
sick.
and shit.
The indoctrination. I'm disgusted. My God.
Isn't that wild? Fuck. And I forgot like if it was a whole nother school or like I don't know where this one came from. Maybe it was the same school, but they also did candles. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, but I think a lot of the catalogs that we had like an array of products. And sometimes there's ones that were like food only, and those were for like holidays.
Oh, so you just had like 3 or 4 throughout the year?
I don't know if like that many, but it was definitely like maybe at least once. 1 or 2. Yeah.
That was like a seasonal thing, you know?
That's a
During the
little too
winter.
much.
I have a very specific memory with the candle catalog, because my mom was like, she was working at this high school, so she was just dishing it out to like all the teachers and like, you know, everybody. And I went with her one time to drop 2 off, and the one of the ladies who got her candle, specifically remember her like opening the candle and smelling it and saying like, oh, I didn't get lemon or whatever. Like she got the wrong candle. And then my mom was like, no, it says right here that you got this one or whatever. She probably picked the wrong one without knowing it.
Oh, okay.
And then she just like made a face, and like I remember like seeing that lady's face and like wanted to be like that's your fault. You know what I mean? Like you're like mean mugging my mom and shit.
Oh.
Yeah, but
Should have punched her.
just in the stomach, like.
Oh, pobrecita.
Should have ordered 2.
What?
Should have ordered 2. Like that way, you get one, you give one away.
See, but don't you think it'd be such a hassle though if you got the wrong thing and now like you had to contact the person you bought it from, and they have to contact this like company, and then they have to mail it back and just do this whole thing.
Oh my god, bro! When I worked at Adidas and I had ordered stuff for people, and they're like, "Oh, like this is like the wrong size or whatever. Like, can you do a return?" Oh my god, like, it just bothered me so much because the process of doing a returns, online returns, it sucked so much, and having to like possibly ship it back, like, oh my god.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I would just do the fucking return like a regular return.
Okay.
You know?
I mean, I think that's how you're supposed to do it, but like, I didn't like doing more than what I had to do, basically.
Like if people are like, oh, but I paid with debit card, but we can't give them cash back or whatever. I'm just like, if you're nice to me, like, I'm just going to give you the cash. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, what are they going to do? Fire me? But they didn't. So there you go. But yeah, returns are they're so long. And what made me pressed is that for some reason, every fucking job I've worked, no one knows how to do a return. So when like one person does, they're just like, "Oh, do the return, do the return." Like you're good at them, and it's like,
yeah.
no.
And everyone's like huddled around them and shit,
Yeah.
trying to like learn.
No, trying to learn. Because like damn well they're not gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna learn this for fucking next time. What they know, you could just pass it off to someone else.
Was it the manager's job to do the returns?
Not for all of them. But I remember when like right after Christmas, it's return season, and a shit ton of people were coming with returns, and I worked at this time. I worked at Aeropostale, and I would have to call a manager over so they could put their code in to like verify or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And when it was like, and I could like tell she was getting annoyed because I'd be like, "Hey, I have a return," and she had to put it in twice during the entire transaction. And she had to put it in twice, and she was getting pressed. Like, you fucking knew this was gonna happen. Like, you worked here for years. Like, don't be mad at me when I have all these returns. And she's like annoyed. Like, quit then.
Like, what does she want you to do at that point? Like,
Exactly.
you literally couldn't.
You know what? I
move.
could just hop off. You could do these. You could do these.
This is an arrow.
Yeah. God, dude, that company sucked. It was actually not as bad as other ones, but definitely it was very old school. So
Like the systems all old and shit.
Yeah, it was very old school. Like the practices and stuff. It was a little much.
Yeah, I think working in a mall took like 10 years off my life, to be honest. Like, it's so depressing. Like, you don't ever see the sunlight.
Oh my
Fuck.
God.
You could be in there at like 5 in the morning or fucking 5 p.m., but either way, it's the same.
Yeah,
Stupid
same
fluorescent lights.
Yeah. God.
Oh shit, that shit.
I
sucked.
remember towards the end of my time at Aero, are you ever at like a job that you're so miserable about, and you're just like, today's the day I leave, I quit, and you're just like standing there like, I'm not even gonna help anyone because I don't care anymore. Like, that's how it was at the way end, and I was like, I'm just gonna, if I sit here, then what are you gonna do?
I want to leave either way.
Exactly. So it was just a bad time. So I was like, I'm gonna
And
leave
like
now.
going there ruined your whole day. Like maybe if you had like a
Yes.
good morning, but then like knowing you have to go there to work, you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, dude, I would go and like work there after class.
That sucked.
God, it was the worst. Like the bus ride from RMU to like the water tower, I just wanted to die. It was so bad.
No, dude, I would walk. I was like, I have to
would
enjoy. I have to enjoy this
That's
time I have
so
right now.
far.
Dude, that's such a good walk. That's like 20 minutes.
But like, you would also get out of class and then have to go to work, or you weren't working.
Yeah, but
there
our
at the
shifts
time?
there were like 5-hour shifts at the time, so we'd start like 5 to 10. So like I would get out of class at like 3, 2.
Oh, so you had the time.
Yeah.
Okay, see,
So I had 3 hours in between. But
I had like one. So I had to leave class early sometimes, because I knew the traffic was going to be ass,
Yeah.
and everyone was, and it was like, it was when you did the year round, so it was like in the summer, and you just knew there was a shit ton of tourists out that were going to try to be riding the bus, and they were going to be really stupid about it, and we would have to stop at every single bus stop. So it was a
especially
bad
during
time.
Lala. Oh, tell me that wasn't the worst.
God, that was. I like to forget.
RMU, they got my ass because like they held the orientations around Lala so that you could see all that. So they could sell you on that. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this is where I can come here to like I can enjoy Lala. I'm in the middle
you
of downtown.
gotta buy tickets.
All these people, right? That's like they really
Yeah,
sold you
dude.
on
Like,
that shit.
the city's your campus.
Oh my god! Stop.
Yes.
Shout out RMU.
Yeah. Fuck them.
Well, they don't exist anymore.
They don't
Roosevelt
exist.
owns them, so.
Yeah. Bad times.
But now that I remember that shit definitely ruined your day, just
That's
going
what
to
I'm
work.
saying,
And then,
dude.
like, at the end of Adidas, I was so, I don't know what it was, bro. I was just so done with it. And definitely everybody noticed. I was just like, dude, I don't care. Like, I don't care. Because for a long time there, like, I took care of the back of house. And so, like, everything was basically, I consider back of house mine. Like, they made it mine. Like, they let me pick my own team and everything. Like, this is my place right here.
Wow.
And I was like, I have to have everything in place. Everything has to be in order. And that's just like who I was. And probably who I am, to be honest. But, and at the last bit, I was like, dude, I don't give a fuck like how messy this place is. Like,
Fuck all you
I'm
guys.
doing the bare minimum, and not even the people in there. Though, like, they're cool. Like, there's still people I talk to, but just like that job, like, I don't know what it was. I was just fucking over it.
You know, this video that I saw recently on TikTok, it was this girl saying that, oh, like, have you ever wondered why a lot of these jobs pick someone that has less experience than you for the position that you want? Basically, they were explaining that they know that you're too good for this position that they want to give you, so they give it to the little less experienced because they're not built up just yet to the point where like they can realize that like this fucking position isn't worth it. And they always just treat you like, oh, well, we know you're going to leave, or you're going to leave once you realize this also isn't worth it. So we just want to bypass that. And in the end, you still end up leaving because they like did you like that, you know?
But you stay for a lot longer, probably. Like, it takes you a while. Like, for me, it took me a while to really be like, oh man, do I even want to be here anymore? You know, but and they could pay you less too
Yeah.
because you're like not as experienced. But damn,
Isn't that so shit? And I
That's
feel like
bogus.
that's exactly what happened to me when I left Vans. Like that was the whole like ordeal. Fuck them.
damn, you could talk about all the van stories now. There were so many times that you wanted to
Oh my
talk,
God.
but
I could expose, but that's for another day.
it's another Jackie.
That's another Jackie. Do you want to get into some questions right now?
Yeah, let's do the questions.
We can start at the way top. So thank you again to everyone who has joined the Discord and dropped their questions below so we could answer them today. Let's see. We can start with the first one by Jocelyn. Best advice that you've gotten. I would say that one that I said earlier about my dad, like just listen to what people have to say. You just hear them out. You don't have to say anything.
I like that a lot. I think maybe this was like Dave Ramsey, but I feel like it put it a lot into perspective for like a lot of aspects of my life. But I think he said, if your neighbor is growing potatoes or like whatever it is, right, and you're not planting anything, like you can't be upset that in a year they have whatever vegetable, whatever they planted, but you don't have anything. I think like that really worked into a lot of
That's a
aspects
real
of my
good
life.
one. If you think about it in that context with everything else in your life,
Exactly.
like why are you bitter?
Exactly.
You know? Okay. Let's see. This next one is from Melita Mami. Would you rather be hunters or gatherers in the dimension where no one was colonized?
I pick hunters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd pick gatherers. I feel like it's a more chill, laid back job. You know, hunters like fuck, like you gotta do the most. Like you gotta kill and you gotta do all that.
I think like all like the other cool shit, like climbing trees and stuff like that. Like just being very what's the word?
Hands-on.
Not hands on. It takes a lot of finesse, you know?
Okay. Okay. For sure. Let's see. This one's from Bianca G. What is something you would like to experience but don't think you ever will? I would say going to space.
That's a good one.
Yeah, right?
Where would you go?
I would want to see the moon.
If aliens walked into this room right now and they're like, Jackie, you can either come with us now, we'll take you anywhere you go in space, like anywhere in the fucking galaxy. But you can never come back. Would you go?
But like that, I think I would have to ask a couple questions first.
No, it's like it's either now or never.
Because what if I go and wherever I end up, like I die anyways?
It's like Kansas. They just tell you it's the moon.
Oh my god.
I'd be mad that I die in Kansas. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just not somewhere I want to like die.
See, because I think it's just there's too many layers to it. Like if I go somewhere, okay, how do I know that I'm gonna like live
let's say, like,
soon as I like land?
Let's say you live your full life. They promise you're gonna live your
Okay.
full life. They'll take you anywhere in the galaxy, but you have to leave right now, and no one will ever know where you went. Let's say I wasn't here. You're just chilling.
But I would also be scared because I've never seen aliens before. So I think I'd be too in shock.
It's a yes
To
or no
answer-
question. Are you leaving or are you not leaving?
I
don't
would
think you'd
say
leave.
no, I think yes, because I know what life on Earth is going to be like for the rest of my life because like, I've been living it. Imagine going somewhere like you have no idea what's going to happen. I would say I would leave.
I would, dude, fuck yeah. I would have been like, okay, I'm out. The only thing I would feel bad about that I'd make them like a deal with, right? Like if they can get rid of like my student debt, cool. Like they can take me. It's like that shit's like,
But like it won't matter because you won't even
because it's
be
held
here.
under my dad's like name. It's like he's co-signed with it. So like if I don't make my payments, like he gets
Oh.
fucked too. Like stuff like that. You know what I mean?
What if the aliens don't believe in currency?
Quite possibly. But the thing is, like, if they're visiting us, like, they also know about us. You know what I mean? Like, they've been watching us. Like, they understand how we work.
Okay,
It's
so
like
they
they
know
do.
that money holds some sort of power.
Right.
Okay.
And I would
okay.
tell them, like, I'd leave right now. Just like, I need you to do me this one favor.
But like, does that mean that they want you to leave? Like, are you saying in a sense that they're like, Jason, come on, let's go. Come on, dude. You can either stay here or come.
Yeah, like, they picked you. Like, they picked you to take
Okay.
with them to, like, learn about them, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it would be cool if they brought you back, like, before you died, so you can, like, tell everybody, like, this will happen. But, like, would anyone ever even believe
Stop,
you?
that's the guy.
What
That's
guy?
the guy from the cookout. He came to tell me about
Oh
the
my
rapture and the second coming.
Did you hear that? There's a knock at the door.
Stop. What the fuck, stop.
Oh, fuck.
Okay, we're moving on.
What was the question that we were answering?
The question was, what's something you'd like to experience but don't think you ever will?
Oh, you know what gets me? That, like, I would love to do it. I just know I can't. It's like diving in a submarine, like into the ocean, like deep into the fucking ocean where it's like dark as shit, where like the angler fish are at. Like going down there like a submarine. Oh my god, I can't imagine how terrifying that is. But I would love to fucking do it. I just don't think I could ever do it.
But like doing like, are you saying like just doing one in general or doing like a very, very deep plunge?
Yeah, like I'd love to do like I'd love to discover some shit. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's what I'd love to do.
Wow.
Yeah, but I think the thought of it, oh my god. Like I was playing on Mario 64 yesterday, and there's this one map or like level where you have to be in the water, like he's diving in the water, and like even though it's a game, it still gets me tense because I don't like to like the thought of open water and like other shit being in the water.
Okay, let's see. This next question is from Mariela21. Advice for first-gen college students. She currently wants to drop out, but I'm halfway there. So is it really worth it?
Well, I never want to be the person to tell someone to drop out. I think it's very situational. If you feel, I guess I can only tell my part, but I felt like I wasn't gaining anything else from school, and like nobody that I was working with
Cared
like
for
was
it.
really cared. They never even asked me where I went to school to because they didn't really care about that. They just cared what I can give them, I guess. But that was like my situation. So like,
I think
if
that's
you're in a different
also-
situation. I don't know.
Because you were in like a creative field. You know what I'm saying? If your dream is to like do some more like business stuff or, med school and stuff, you would have to go to school. So I guess if you're first gen and those are your dream jobs, then yeah, I would have to say that like it is worth going, even though like, the system sucks and all that stuff. It's in the end like what they want and what they're gonna look for when you go and like look for these jobs.
Exactly. But it's all honestly, if you're thinking about dropping out and you want to do something creative, just it's not as it's not how people depict it on TikTok. Like it's, you know what I mean? Like they just kind of glamorize out like the whole process of.
They love to give you the result, but
Yeah.
the actual process of even getting to a place where you can make somewhat okay money or consistently is extremely difficult.
Right. Like it took me 3 to 4 years to kind of make a living and
Off of what you
off
did.
of what I do, right? And like that's I cannot tell you how many times I stayed up at night, how many times like I was like, man, maybe I should have finished school. How many times I questioned everything, like this is the right choice. Even to this day, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I know I'd rather be doing this, even though it's like scary sometimes. But it's also because of the way that I feel like society has very much conditioned us to think that like you need this 9 to 5 and like you need this certain lifestyle.
Right.
Like I know from my life, at least financially, I just want to be debt free and have enough money to like just enjoy my life. You know, what I mean, just travel, I guess, which isn't that much money. It's not as much money as you think it is, especially if you're like investing it in shit too. So there's like that whole other part of it. I don't know. I think it's very situational. If you want to drop
definitely.
out and you have a plan, go for it. But I think college isn't that bad of a place to be if you don't know what you want to do. Because you can meet some people.
Yeah, definitely.
So.
If anything, use it for networking more than
Right.
anything. Going back to when you were saying that at points for you, even till today, it is scary, was something that I kind of thought about the other day. And I know that we talk a lot about like imposter syndrome and how that makes us feel and how it's been making us feel ever since like we wanted to do stuff creatively, right? And I heard this quote from this girl that was basically twisting imposter syndrome to almost make it like a positive thing to look at it from in that perspective, which is if you have imposter syndrome, you feel scared. You feel some type of way where it's like, oh, I'm not doing enough, or people are going to think that, I ain't shit, all this kind of stuff. But you're uncomfortable throughout the entire like interaction of you thinking, oh, I have like this imposter syndrome, all this stuff, which is almost like a good thing because you know that things are changing and you're taking a step that is into the unknown, which is only good. So that was like one way that I kind of changed perspectives where it's like, okay, I have this imposter syndrome, but I know I'm in the right direction.
Okay, I see what you mean. I like that. I like that way too. Because I feel like the way we were putting it was very
negative.
Yeah.
And that's like, I didn't feel that way up until now after I kind of switched perspectives and how to like look at it. I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe I'm not doing too bad, because you won't know if you don't try. And when you try, I know that it feels scary, but you're uncomfortable, which is good. There's change.
Love that. I like that a lot. There was this, I feel like I've always switched little like hobbies that I do and shit. Like I like to just try a lot of new things. And that's very much transitioned into like careers and stuff like too. I just don't see myself being in the same place for longer than like 3 to 5 years. You know what I mean? I get bored of it very quickly because like once I get in there and I figure out how to fix stuff and like how to improve stuff, I'm kind of just like, or I'm out. You know what I mean? And I read a book that said like this is like a type of person. It's not necessarily bad or good, but like there's people who can stick to something and like that's like what they love to do is just that one thing. And there's people who actually enjoy other activities, like who like don't stick to one thing. Like they find some everyone's reason for moving on to the next thing is different. But I started looking at it as more of like a positive too, because I didn't like that about myself. I hate that I couldn't just like that's how I was learning how to play guitar. I couldn't just like stick to the guitar. I had
Like
to.
you would feel like, oh, I'm not consistent, or like I'm not.
Right. Like once I accomplish the song or like whatever I'm trying to learn, I'll move on to like a next like hobby. Right. So, and I'm trying to like take that into my career. Like for example, I'm trying to go into flight school, and so like maybe I could do that for 5 years. But I was like, I don't know what I'm trying to do after that. You know. But yeah.
All right. Next question. What do you think you did/were in a past life? Or if you even think past lives exist? This question is from Ashley. I think, I know in the last episode we talked about dreams and how we were like, oh, like, what if those dreams were like a past life you? Or, you know what I'm saying? And I want to tell this story about this dream. I woke up today. I don't think my boyfriend appreciated it as much as I was excited to tell it because he had just woke up. I was like, I have to tell you. But in this dream, I was at my house and my neighbor and I, like back then before my house burned down, it had a detached garage. And they still have a detached garage because it's basically the same layout of the house. And in my dream, both of the detached garages were back there, and I was having like this bonfire party. Dude, I'm telling you, this was so detailed, down to the point where I could feel people's emotions in my dream, where I was like, this seems tense. So in the dream, I'm having this bonfire party, and my friend is like, hey, dude, like, is your neighbor here? And my neighbor in real life is just like, he's just like this guy. He lives with his mom, I think. And I think he's a little older he's probably pushing 30 now. But
in real life or in your dream?
In real life.
Okay.
And in my dream, same thing. So in my dream, this guy lives in his garage, the detached garage. So my friend asked if my neighbor was there because in real life, we know that he smokes. So he wanted to smoke with him, invite him to come chill. And I was like, oh, I don't think he's home. He's like, let's go look. And then he opened the door and I was like, oh shit, like it's unlocked. And then he went all the way in, and like everyone from the party went all the way in. And I'm like, bro, like we're in this man's house. Like he does not know. We just broke in. And I could feel myself feeling like scared. And then my neighbor comes in. He's like, what the fuck? And then we're like, oh, bro, like, we're just kidding. Like, like, what the fuck? Everyone leaves. And, like, he was pressed. But then eventually he thought, like, oh, y'all are chill. So he came to the party. He chilled. But then he was having a party another day. And we were all in the basement. It was just me and my boyfriend and my boyfriend's friend. And all three of us were down here. And then, so this is where it gets like very realistic, which is when I woke up, I was like, what the fuck? Like there was a coffee table and there was an iPad there and it kept lighting up from Facebook Messenger. And I would just like, I peeked over and I saw the messages and they said like, oh, they're here. But like me and my boyfriend and the friend, like we just got here. So we're like, oh, they're kind of talking about us. And then I like see another one. It's like, oh yeah, like they're weird, like this and that. And I was like, oh, they're talking shit. And then my neighbor boy and my boyfriend are like in a corner, like the neighbor's showing my boyfriend like these vases or like these glass jars or something. And then I like see the iPad light up again, and they were talking about my boyfriend. Like they were talking like big shit about him, and like they're just like really mean shit. And
in the
messages, they were just saying like really mean shit about him. And I was at this point I was pressed, and I was like, I got up and I made a scene. I was like, fuck all of you. Fuck all of you. I was like, we're fucking leaving. Like, you guys are fucking losers. And then I grabbed my boyfriend and I'm like, we're leaving. And then we leave. And before I go, I take like a glass and I like throw it across the room and it like shatters. And then I left because I was so pressed. And then I woke up.
Oh, were you so mad? Like,
Because they were talking shit about my boyfriend. I was like, you guys are being so mean to him. I made a scene.
Damn, you're loyal even in your dreams.
But that's probably who I was in my past life.
What do you mean?
From the question.
I forgot. Oh, shit. I forgot that was the question. But who do you think you were in your past life? Like that person throwing a glass? Like, oh, I see what you mean now. Okay.
You know? Okay, we're going to go on to the next question. Okay, next question is from Dawn. This is from Dawn. If reincarnation is real, would you like to come back as another human or as an animal? Or not come back at all?
I would want to come back as an animal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like what? A wolf? You're a
No,
wolf kid?
like a bird. That'd be cool.
Oh, that would be majestic. Can I come back as like a dinosaur to
Yeah, I think
experience
so.
dinosaur times? I think that would be cool.
That would be cool.
Okay. This next one is from Jennifer. A song or movie you could experience for the first time again?
So I was really thinking about this in the car. Song, I don't necessarily know that one, but not even movie to be honest. But TV show, which we've talked about before, is Breaking Bad. Like I wish I could watch Breaking Bad all over again.
Yeah.
That was a really good show.
Yep. For the first time when you were like noticing everything, you're like, wait, this is
I
cool.
binged that shit in like 3 days. I
Yeah.
was like invested. Yeah.
I would say a song or movie. I would say, mine's also a TV show. I would have to say Grace, just because like the first time around, like, bro, I was not sleeping. I would go through episode and episode. I shit you not till like 4 a.m. I feel like, what is it? Crack that's in this show. Let's see. Next question is from Alberto. Have you guys gone to Sobadores? If so, any recommendations in the Chicago area? This is such a good question.
So I've never personally been.
I have been twice. And it was because back when I used to run track, I like really hurt my knee. And for some reason, my parents didn't take me to the doctor. They took me to a Sobador, and I believe he was in Woodstock. I don't know his name. My dad knew him, I think, through work. And yeah, he told him like, hey, like my girl's knee hurts, like la puedo sobar. And he was like, yeah, for sure. And then we went into this man's house. He had like a separate little room with like a bed, like a flat bed. And he had this little cupboard, this like wooden cupboard, like full of like unlabeled like cremas, like all this shit. And tell me why he started like me sobó, like las manos, like my back, like my legs, but like and never specifically the knee. I mean, he like did the knee and stuff, but he was like pulling my toes and like all like, you know, twisting my ankles and shit. And I was like, bro, the knee, bro, like this one right here. And my dad was there like talking to him, like, Dad, you're distracting him. Like, it's the knee. Like, he's not paying attention. And I went twice. No lie, it did nothing for my knee. I felt very like sobada, I guess, but I don't think it really helped my knee in any way, or maybe it did because it doesn't hurt anymore. Who knows?
Only Jonathan ever went to the Salvadores.
Oh really?
Salvadores?
Sobadores?
Yeah. Yeah, only he went, and the only thing I remember from him going is like him not liking it because they were so rough.
Yeah, the guy was mad rough. Like, dude, I'm telling you, he'd press his thumbs into like my arms and shit. Like that shit hurt. But I have a cute little story about my grandpa. Is that back when my grandpa, he was alive, my grandpa would never go to the doctor. He would only ever go to the Sobadores. And he worked a very, very long time like in the fields and stuff. So he had permanent like back damage, and he was older at the time. So he would always trust in his sobador, not just anyone. Bro, not just anyone. My grandpa would feel like a strain in his back. And at this point, my grandpa is retired and he collects Social Security. And he would go to Mexico. He got his citizenship like after like he became a senior citizen. And he would go to Mexico all the time. Like once he got that passport, he was like, fuck this place. And he would go back all the time. And he would come collect the check and then go back. He'd have to stay here like for a bit so they didn't think anything of it. But he would dip and he would go back to his rancho. And then he felt a little bit of back pain. And he's like, nah, I gotta book an appointment. And that year we were all going to Mexico. So we took him and we went, and he's like, oh, can you guys take me to my appointment, to my sobador? And we were like, bet. So we're over there in Mexico. This man went all the way to Mexico because the sobador is
like that's where he booked the appointment?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
shit.
He went all the way there specifically to go see this man, and I was like, damn, this guy must be like real fucking good, right? And like my grandpa's been going to him for years, like since he was like younger. Years.
That's crazy.
So we go there, and he's like, oh, it's gonna be at this place in Salvatierra. My dad's like, but we go there, and it's in the middle of this like mercado, and we get to this little shack, and my grandpa's like, oh, over there, we're gonna ask for him. And I'm like, oh, okay, we're gonna ask him where the guy's at, like located. Now the guy's located there at that shack. And man's had nothing. He had just a counter.
Yeah, 2 bottles, the unmarked bottles.
He just had, I think he had like Vaporu or like, no, La Arnica, which is like a...
Dude, tell me that shit didn't do magic, bro. You had a bruise, you put that shit on, 2 days later, it's gone. Crazy.
He would have this like Arnica, and he didn't have a table. He literally was like, all right, lay on the floor. I think he would fucking lo sobaba on the floor.
Oh my God.
And my dad, we were blown away. And my dad was like, oh, because the guy was like, oh, ¿quieres que te sobe a ti también? And my dad was like, yeah, for sure. And he told my dad to get on the floor and like lo sobó. And my mom, like, we just walked away because they were going to be there a minute. Yeah. And my mom was like, what the fuck? She's like, I walk up, tu para el suelo. I was like, what the fuck? I don't know. And yeah, I mean, my grandpa said he was fixed.
It's like watching the Benihana chefs, like doing all the tricks and shit. I'd be so entertained. Like, oh, fuck.
Oh my God, dude. But yeah, that Sobador is still there. It's my grandpa's fave.
You gotta get the number for the Sobador.
Yeah, right. Well, next time when we go in August, I'll take my boyfriend. Like, oh, get this sobe.
Would he?
Maybe if I told him like, nah, dude, like it's fine. Like we all do it.
Yeah, like it's a family guy. It's okay. It's our friend.
He would probably do it. Your go-to pan dulce. This question is from Jacqueline.
Ooh.
I'm assuming that's your name. Sorry.
Churros. Have to
really?
Dude, definitely. You kidding me? Like a fresh churro, fire.
I mean, they're good, but I never like asked for one because they're more expensive than the other pan, and they were always like in the warmer. So it was like if I was feeling like I did my chores, like I did my homework, I was a good kid. Let me get a churro. If not, then I would just pick whatever.
I get you.
But I think my go-to would be Los Cuernos. They have the sugar in the middle.
I think I know which ones you're talking about. They're like almost twisted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like, I guess, croissants. You know, okay. But it's like it's more of a dense bread. Croissants are very airy. And let's see. This one is from Juanito. How did you find out Santa was real? This was one of the questions.
Well, my parents never sold us on Santa.
I
They
think
did
you
maybe
said
for
that
like 3 or 4
once.
years, yeah. But they always got us. They're like, you guys are allowed to pick 3 things for Christmas, and that's what you got. And so they always made it obvious.
Oh, I think my parents really tried to keep it alive for us. And then I
Did I just ruin
remember,
it for you? I'm
no,
sorry.
you're no, and like one time I'd have to have been like younger than like 10. Or we went to my cousin's, and my older sister and my older cousin were like talking about something, and I was like, oh, like, what are you guys talking about? And my cousin made it like, she's so ugly for this, but she was like, no, don't tell her. And like they was making it so dramatic, and I was like, don't tell me what. And she was like, oh, we don't want you to know the truth about Santa. I was like, what the fuck? And then I like put it together, and I was like, oh, but it wasn't like a, oh my
Stop. You
God.
were so heartbroken. Like, you were so
No,
invested. Like, what truth?
no. Well, I was, because like they didn't want to tell me. But when they said that, I was like, oh, okay. Let's see. This was the second question. When you're having a bad day, what do you do to make yourself feel better? What's your self-care?
I think it could always be worse. I think that's what I've gotten used to, to telling myself. Like
Oh,
yesterday
you
or on
tell
Sunday.
yourself?
Yeah, like on Sunday when I locked my cars in my keys in the car, I was like, fuck. You know, I was very like, I was pissed at myself, but I was like, okay, I could have done this like on the street somewhere. You know, it could have just been like somewhere much worse, like a
Yeah.
lot more inconvenient, you know?
Right.
So,
So I have an example, because yesterday I was gonna get up for work, and I get up at 4, and like when I woke up, I was like, this is it. This is the day. Like, I'm just not gonna go in today. Like, fuck this job. I hate it. I hate it. I was like, I'm not gonna go. And then I was already like in a bad mood, and I was like, oh my God, like I hate this job. So as I'm leaving, I literally, it's my routine going down the stairs up until I walk out the door. I like to tell myself that I'm thankful for a job, and I'm thankful that I get the opportunity to live another day and have employment, you know, even though it fucking sucks. I'm just like, and then my walk is a little bit better, like to the train.
yeah.
Let's see. This next one is from Sileman. Marry, fuck, kill entre Paquita, Juan Gabriel, and Vicente Fernandez. I would have to say I would fuck Paquita. I would have to kill Juan Gabriel and marry Vicente Fernandez.
You'd kill Juan Gabriel? Why?
I don't know.
It's a good man.
He's a good man, but I had to pick someone, and it couldn't be my good sis Paquita.
I don't know.
Like, I
To
couldn't
be
do
honest
it.
with you, if I'm looking at like Vicente Fernandez like picture, right? Something about him just throws me off. I can't tell you what it is, but like the look, the feeling that I get from looking at his face versus like the feeling I get looking at Juan Gabriel, like it's just like two different feelings.
Is it like you get a kinder feel from like Juan Gabriel?
Yeah, like a much more warm feeling. Like Vicente
Okay.
Fernandez's like eyes kind of look cold and
Dead
like
to
that.
you? He's
Yeah.
got the dead eyes.
Not gonna lie to you, but I don't know.
Well, so you're saying that you would kill Vicente Fernandez?
Yeah. Yeah. If I had to. Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to answer the other two? Would you marry Paquita or Juan Gabriel?
I don't know who Paquita is, to be honest.
Stop, rata de dos
Swear.
patas.
Oh, that's where that
Stop.
comes from? I'll see. Like, I didn't even know.
Bro, okay, we're going on to the next question. Who or what influences the style of your podcast?
I was actually thinking about this today when I was reading over these because I was like really trying to think like like who like I don't know. I don't think like we really, or at least I don't have another podcast that I follow that I get like a lot
That
of
like story
inspiration
tells?
from. Right.
Yeah, same.
So,
I mean,
I
I'm
don't
sure
know.
there's other people out there with the same style, like this just storytelling style. I just have never listened to
I
them.
would love to be put on with some people because I was trying to find some podcast the other day because I was like, let me just like try something new, like listen to something, and all the story times podcast that Spotify offers, they're just very like scripty. You know what I mean?
No, okay. So I've been watching The Handmaid's Tale for everyone that knows. I love the show. It's so good. I've listened to about 3 podcasts just about the show. And I like to hear like everyone's point of view, everyone's interpretation. And one of them was a storytelling one. And it was like from the first season of the show, they had like obviously like different voice actors. And the script came from the Netflix series or from the Hulu series. But it was a little different, I think, to also adapt to the book. And it was all scripted, you know, and that's the storytelling that they were giving. So I get what you mean by like a lot of them do just very scripted stories, which is, I feel like different because they're not saying like their own experiences, like they're scripting something else.
Yeah, I think it's missing emotion is like what most of the part of like the reason why I don't like a lot of them. I like the emotion.
Right. We just like telling stories, dude. I think that's just where it comes from.
Yeah.
Let's see. This next one is from Jackie. If you could fight anyone, who would it be? Do you think you would win? I would want you to be as realistic as possible.
Oh, I'd fight Joe LaPuma. Like I would like I think that'd
You
be
think
fucking
like
hilarious.
his build and like all that stuff would be a fair match for you?
Yeah, because he's like a bigger, he's like a taller dude, a little bit more broader, you know. But I feel like I'm a little bit more athletic, if that makes sense. Like I'd be able to like, I think I'd be able to win, to be honest.
You think
like,
so?
You give us some
Okay.
gloves, you put us in a ring, 3 minutes. Oh yeah, I'd definitely win.
Okay. I think I would have to fight like Joey King. Let me look her up because I know you have no idea who that is. I think I would have to fight her. Would I win? I really don't know. But she is a smaller person, I feel like. Unless her Wikipedia says something different. But
She's 6 feet.
so I think
Where's she
I don't know where she's from. Oh, she's from this one show called The Act about Gypsy Rose, like the reenactment of Gypsy Rose.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, she was also in The Conjuring. The first one, I believe.
She's the little sister in the bed who gets pulled by the feet, right?
I don't know. I don't remember. But yes. Joey King, I think I could realistically fight her.
Why do you want to fight her though?
Oh, like she's just so annoying to me. And I don't know if I would win. I'm a little bit small, like thin. My bones would probably break. And I'm sure that she works out every day because she's like, you know, an actress. She works out every day, I'm sure, and has a good diet. So, and she probably, like most celebrities, take on boxing as a hobby. So I'm saying she could probably win, but I would still fight her.
It seems like a fair fight though, from what you're saying.
We'll see. We'll see. Joey King, if you're out there, let's
Dude, we
box
gotta
it
set, we
out.
gotta set this shit up. We gotta set this
God,
shit
we gotta
up.
get the Triller sponsors. Okay, next question. Last one. This one I believe is from Michael. I forget your username, but I'm pretty sure this is Michael. What music video do you think perfectly encapsulates the song?
For me, it's Bad Bunny's "Estamos Bien." I love the video to that
Oh,
song.
really? I was also gonna say a Bad Bunny one.
It's a good time. What about yours?
I was gonna say Bad Bunny's Vete. Remember when we watched it for the first time, and then we like found the twist where it was like actually his mom, and I was like, wait.
Do you remember like our heads turning to the side and looking
were
at each other
like,
like we realized at the same time?
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, that was a perfect one.
new going on. I guess just like check out the Discord if you
Yeah,
haven't
check out
yet.
the Discord. Again, we appreciate everyone for sending in their questions. And on Monday, we'll open that back up. We're gonna try to wipe the channel every single time, just so there's not like a buildup of questions. But we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna start prepping you guys to get excited for the 50th episode that is coming up. So this is episode 47, and we're 3 episodes away from hitting 50. So we're super excited, and also hitting 10K followers on TikTok.
Yep.
I did see. We're very close. But thank you guys for new listeners. I hope you guys stick around and enjoy the ride.
Thank you guys. See you next week.